Hey there, fictional friends, and welcome to another episode of Fully Booked. I'm Megan.
And I'm Shirin.
And we're coming at you a little bit late with the last episode of July, but life is lifing, so here we are. It's the last episode for the month of July, in which we've been talking about book adaptations and, how successful we feel that they overall have or have not been. And I guess we're gonna continue on that vein today, I think, to close out the month to a degree. Because we're going to start talking, we're going to talk through some stuff to do with maybe specific genres. Which genres maybe are more successful when it comes to adaptations, how they do a good job. And I would say there are positives and negatives to all of them. But some of them overall maybe work better than others do.
Yeah, and it all depends on a number of factors, and we will get into all that.
Yeah. There's almost no way to quantify it exactly.
No.
But that doesn't mean we're not going to try.
Whip out a spreadsheet.
Oh, yeah. Okay, before we get started, Shirin, what's on your nightstand right now?
I'm actually reading an advanced reading copy.
Yes.
Of a book that is coming out on September 30th.
Yeah.
It's called Shadowman by Shola Adeji. It's a Valiant Universe novel, so if any of you follow the Valiant comic
books, yeah.
I think Shadowman is... I
think he's a recurring character.
I think so. Yeah. I personally have never read these comics, but I might have to look into them after this. So far, I'm not super far into the story, but so far... it's quite interesting. I'm looking forward to seeing where it's going. It's about a college student named Jack whose dad suddenly passes away and something's going on with him. He's getting pulled into these weird dreams. And it seems that there's another character, something going on the other side. So kind of, I think it's supposed to be literally on the other side.
Okay, got it.
His name is Baron Samdi.
Oh, yes. Yeah, of course.
So it's a New Orleans kind of based story and a lot of the folklore and some of those characters. So I'm actually looking forward to seeing what's going on here. Seems like it's right up my street. And if it's really good, I will tell you all to check it out.
Yay.
But I'll also be writing a review of it.
Awesome.
Megan, what's on your nightstand?
So I've been fortunate enough to get through a couple of raids recently. So I finished also an ARC that we had received from, I want to say, Sparkpoint Studio. So the publicist Grace had reached out to us with regards to a novel that's also being published, I want to say September 2nd, called In Deadly Company by an author by the name of L.S. Stratton. This is a murder mystery type of thing. Takes place during, you've got what's happening now versus what happened then kind of thing, so you get to jump back and forth in time a little bit. Basically follows a young woman who is working as an executive assistant, had been working for this woman who was the CEO of this health and wellness company. She passed away in a car accident. Her son took over the company, and he's the most nightmare of nightmare bosses you could possibly have in your life. And she's told herself that she's sticking it out for, I think it was a year, if I'm not mistaken, to assist, and then she would be leaving. It's
very
coming
Devil Wears Prada.
Very much. It's sticking to the end. We're basically getting to the end of that timeline, along with this guy's big birthday bash that's happening. I think, it's upstate New York. It's in the Hudson Valley somewhere, that this huge birthday bash is taking place, but there is a lot to it in the sense that she also seems to be running some sort of behind the scenes thing or undercover thing herself, and we don't know why for a very long time. This was so fun.
Oh, really?
So fun. I've never read L.S. Stratton's books before. I think for her this was a little bit of a shift. I think she writes maybe slightly more a little more lit fic and much more serious as a rule. This was a little bit more of a fun murder mystery. There are a lot of serious aspects to it, but it was so fun. It had great twists. It was well written. I really liked the characters. I thought they were awesome. I really liked this. I thought this was also just a perfect summer read for me, right? It was just a fun murder mystery.
Easy to read,
a bunch of crazy rich people, a contained setting, almost locked room because you're in this one area when this takes place. It was cool. I really liked it. So I'm going to be... Hopefully, in the next very short period of time, there will be a review up at fullybooked.ca with all that as well.
Nice.
Yeah. So I read that, and then I also just finished, just for the fun of it, in between, I came across a book that was actually just published in June called The Dark Lord's Guide to Dating and Other War Crimes by Tiffany Hunt.
Oh, this sounds hilarious.
This is like, so I get this, if you want like, I guess if you want like the banter and fun, very quirky, fun fantasy of like assistant to the villain, like that universe, but with spice. This is basically what you're gonna get from this.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's very funny. It's just like that's it. The Dark Lord essentially, in order to fulfill, unlock this key basically of, in a sense, and harness the power within it, he needs someone he needs the blood of the line of like the first hero who ever existed basically. And so he kidnaps, this like noble woman, and to like basically force her into a marriage so that he can use, because she's part of the bloodline through her mother's side of the family, so that he can use that bloodline, and they kind of strike a bargain to a degree, because she's been, you know, one of those almost locked in a tower her whole life types, that he will help her harness the magic that she has that her father never wanted her to use, and he in turn will be able to use her bloodline to unlock this thing.
Interesting.
But obviously, you know, it starts as one of those like, oh, haha, we hate each other. It's very enemies to lovers. The banter is top tier. It's really good. And the characters are very funny. I loved it. It was great. It came out in June. I think there's a second one coming out in February of next year.
Wow, so soon.
I know. So I was like, okay, sounds good. I'm going to read that.
Might borrow that off you.
Yeah. Oh, wait, no, I think I only have an e-copy of that, but yeah, anyway. No. Okay, so wait, I was thinking through things. I was like taking some notes, and I was like, okay, if I kind of sit back and I think about different genres, like every genre to a degree has been adapted. We know this, obviously.
Oh, for sure.
Fictional, non-fictional, doesn't matter.
Autobiography.
100%. All of them, everything that you can think of. So
I guess that falls into nonfiction.
Kind of. Okay.
I'm very tired. I'm going to preface this episode by saying we just got back from a week-long vacation with a 7-month-old, and while it was a lot of fun, oh boy.
But oh boy.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'll throw out like some genres at you, and we can maybe chat through some of each of them. What's good, what's bad, maybe what works well or doesn't work well for some of them.
All right, let's do it.
This one, I'm going to separate it in, I think we should separate it into two to maybe talk about them, but I'm thinking like thriller and mystery.
Nothing else?
No, I mean to start with.
Oh, okay. I'm like, Megan, you know there are other genres.
Okay,
I know that these are your favorites, but...
Okay, so I'm tired. Okay. This is really important in this episode. So
okay.
So for you, thrillers and mysteries, as adaptations, overall, how do you feel about them?
So, thrillers and mysteries, I mean, let's say, okay, no supernatural element to them, right? I find that these are books that, in theory, should be easily adaptable, right? But the mystery part, or the twist, that's what you're waiting for when you're watching one of these movies, reading one of these books.
Oh yeah.
And so if the actors are not delivering on like the build up, or if they're not shooting it properly, if they're not leaving like a little trail of red herrings, or like, properly doing it, then you may not be as captivated as the way that you should be, which obviously goes for the books too, but assuming it was an excellent book that everybody loves, I think it really comes down to the actors and how they deliver, and the writing. I think has a lot to do with it as well. Yeah. What do you think?
I find that I'm going to separate them into two categories. So like thrillers, like the darker version of things, for instance. I find that if you focus on the writing, if they're well written, these stories work well, particularly, in my opinion, as films or limited series. Yeah. When you get into multiple seasons, the mystery element starts to get boring, or the twists are too expected, or they become
too out there,
or they become kind of redundant at some point. So I find that if you're going to adapt one, adapting it into that makes the most sense. If that makes sense, you know what I mean? So like, if you think of like good ones like Gone Girl, Nocturnal Animals, Silence of the Lambs, like those are things that were adapted into films, and I find that they work incredibly well as a film.
Yeah.
I loved Gone Girl. I don't want to watch an 8-episode, 2-season series about it.
No,
I want to
no.
watch one movie.
One movie. And, like, it also depends on, like, you know, how detailed the book was. Like, I think Gone Girl was quite a zippy read, too.
Oh, God, yeah.
But, yeah, I'm just trying to think of limited series that have been good. Like, there's been a lot of Harlan Coben limited series.
Which are, like, decent.
They are
But again,
good.
You can't give me more than one season of that.
Oh, gosh, no.
See what I mean?
And, like I find that even when they try and stretch it to, like, 10 episodes, you're kind of getting, like, ugh.
I feel like at this point with those, like, because of how quickly they have to wrap things up, more than, like, 6 episodes, I'm like, eh.
Yeah, well, that's it. Like, and I don't know how much of it they're kind of adding on.
Yeah,
like, I've read a few Harlan Coben novels, and, like, they're very easy reads, and they're fun, and, like, you know, you're kind of waiting for the twist at the end, but I don't believe his characters are that, like, what's the word I'm looking for? Like, flushed out.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Because it's more about, like, what's the mystery. And it does center around the characters.
Yeah.
And that's why, like, in the limited series, you get some pretty good actors. Like, I think Richard Armitage was in one of them.
He's been in a bunch, actually.
Yeah, in a few of them.
Yeah.
And, like,
he has some sort of deal with Netflix and Harlan Coben adaptations. I don't know.
He is a fine man.
Oh my God, yeah, Shireen loves him.
I love a British man.
You do. A tall, angular British man. It's very specific.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah.
Yeah. But, okay, so if I continue on that vein, though, in contrast to thrillers, I find that, like, lighter-hearted mysteries, so maybe stuff either like cozy mysteries or whatever other things, you'll have more success in turning that into, like, a multi-season thing, because the stakes are low, and you can just kind of, like...
Cruise along
with it. Yeah, that's a really good way of putting it. Cruise along with it and kind of let it happen. You know what I mean? Like, okay, and these are examples that I don't know if there's an equivalent to this in the US, but I'm thinking of, like, the UK and in Canada. So, like, in the UK, Midsummer Murders has been on for a million fucking years, right? And in Canada, Murdoch Mysteries has been on for a million years as well. It's got like 19 or 20 seasons or something.
But then, like, you've also got, like, your Agatha Christie's and your Poirot.
100%.
Like, I'm sure they made a whole bunch of series of those too.
Yeah, I think they have.
Miss Marple.
Miss Marple, yeah, that's it. Oh yeah, God, yeah, a ton of stuff like that. And those ones I find are ones that you can just, if they're like a lighter-hearted mystery, I find it's easier to just be like, okay, and this is like the fun mystery of this season. You know what I mean? And you just kind of go along with it and you're okay with it. When you get into the darker stuff, eventually you're kind of like, this cannot be happening to this many characters every single season. Like, it's just wild.
But it's exactly what you said, though. Like, it's the immersion of it. Like, putting yourself in the storyline.
Yes.
When it's too high stakes and really gritty and dark. Like, I'm thinking of, and I don't know if this was adapted from a book, but there was one with, what's her name?
Oh my God.
Gillian Anderson and...
Okay. Oh, The Fall?
That one was really gritty.
I don't know if that was from a book, actually. But yes, I know what you mean. It was
but
very
like that
tonally
kind of...
agreed.
Yeah,
yes,
exactly. Yeah. Like, I don't want to hang out in this world with these people.
God, it's so
like,
fucking
it's
depressing.
scary and depressing. Whereas, like, to your point, like, Murdoch Mysteries, you're like, dee-dee-dee-dee-dee.
Yeah,
like, I just want to hang out in this
just
cute,
watching,
like, cozy setting.
In turn of the century Toronto,
Yeah.
with the constabulary fucking solving silly little mysteries, and then having, like, quote unquote, like, real people show up, like Nikola Tesla and Alexander Graham Bell and stuff like that.
So
like, just
cute.
doing those things. It's just funny and silly. Yeah, I don't know. I guess it's weird because you're like, don't those kind of fall into the same category? And they do, but the tone makes or breaks whether I think that they can be multiple seasons of
Yeah, I mean,
show.
these are like your subgenres, right?
Kind of, yeah. That's it. Okay. Fantasy, Shirin.
Oh, well, buckle up, Buttercup, because we have things to say.
She just slammed a pillow twice. This is going to show up and really weirdly on the audio. Everybody's going to be like, what the hell is going on? Shirin slamming pillows down.
Well, fantasy, so this one, I would say, has to be divided into two categories.
Yeah, okay.
You've got high fantasy.
And more like urban fantasy?
Urban, I don't know what you would call it, but like high fantasy. First of all, we all have to remember that once they decide to adapt high fantasy, you're talking big budget.
I know.
Because you need costumes, you need sets, you need
special
effects, makeup, you need it's so much more involved.
It's very far reaching, yeah.
Very far reaching. And And then it depends what kind of fantasy we're talking about. Like, is it like dark? Is it...
Yeah, sure.
You know, like, and I will use the two examples of the ones that we all know. Mm-hmm. Lord of the Rings, Harry Potter.
Agreed.
Right?
Yeah.
Harry Potter, to an extent, it takes place in, like, our world.
Well, Harry Potter is technically considered low fantasy, or what's called low fantasy, and that's not a derogatory term. It's just to say that it takes place sort of adjacent to the human world.
Exactly.
It's not like a made-up complete universe, you know?
No, but half of it is,
correct,
right?
Yeah.
Like, there are a lot of things, like, you're not building an entire new geographical world.
Agreed, yes.
Right?
Yeah.
Whereas in The Lord of the Rings, it is Middle-earth. There is lore. There is history.
Yeah.
There, like, this can go on forever, you know? And there's other, like, Game of Thrones is like this.
Yes.
Just, you know, pick. You know, there's so many of them that are high fantasy world building.
Yeah.
And so then it becomes very tricky because the other issue with fantasy... quote unquote, is that you have people like me who are like completely obsessed with these books.
That's hardly relegated to one section of the population.
Oh, I know
At
that.
At
this point, I know. But when you're talking about something like an adaptation for fantasy where you need the sets and the effects and you need the budget.
You need the immersive experience of it.
Yes.
Yeah.
And if you're not going to go the whole hog, then your target audience is going to revolt.
Agreed.
And your adaptation is going to tank.
Yes.
You know, like I think about, again, I've talked about this many, many times, but I bring up again Shadow and Bone. You know, the duology and then the three...
being merged together.
Yeah. That was high fantasy. They had to find a way of doing it. And a lot of people hated it.
I know, yeah.
This is another reason why ACOTAR, they keep picking up the rights and dropping them, I think.
I would honestly understand if they never did it. Or people have floated the idea of an animated series, and I don't hate that.
Oh, I don't hate that either.
I don't hate that shit. Like an animated adult series, I think would actually probably be a good idea. If you got good voice actors and good animation.
I agree.
Listen.
Because at this point... between Throne of Glass, A Court of Thorns and Roses, like, I just don't know if we would ever be able to appease the Mossverse on this.
No, and I mean, okay, fine, going into it and everything, like, they do what they can. You're never going to please everybody, and that's fine. It'll be, whether it's casting or writing or some of the visuals of it, let's say, of the universe, whatever it is.
Yeah.
Which is understandable, but it's almost, I can almost see how that level of things would make me as like a studio, for instance, be like, I think maybe we just won't do that.
Yeah.
I think maybe let's just not.
Right.
You know?
Well, this is it, right? You have to be prepared to go the whole hog and face the backlash that comes from it.
That's it.
The other thing I would say, and I've said this before when I watch a fantasy adaptation, the actors need to want to be in the adaptation because they love the story themselves.
Like this was how you got, like, at least before things went off the rails there, how you got like a really solid first season of The Witcher.
Yeah.
Because Henry Cavill was so fucking obsessed with those games and the books.
Right.
That he wanted this show to be good so badly.
He wanted to be Geralt.
He wanted to be this character, and he wanted the show itself to be a good adaptation of the source material.
Yeah.
And so, don't get me wrong, I didn't even finish the second season. It was bad, and I did not like it.
That was still with Henry Cavill.
It was.
I don't think I finished it.
No, it was very boring and weird and convoluted. And I think I watched like 4 episodes, and I was like, "Oh, you've lost me now.
Yeah.
Like it's lost the plot. I'm not here for it anymore." And now, keep in mind, look, I've not read the books, so I've never played the games. I haven't read the books, so I don't have any kind of like tie to it in any capacity. So I can't talk to like, it was such a good adaptation. However, you know, as has been pointed out by multiple people, even on set, he was essentially like an encyclopedia of information about this franchise because he loved it so much.
And that's rare.
Yeah.
Right? Like, that's like your extreme example of an actor who...
But we need somebody who's like read the books and is a big fan of them. Not like someone who like gets cast and then is like, I guess I should read these now, eh?
Yeah. And I think, you know, it's very obvious when that happens.
True.
I will say that, you know, when they made the Harry Potter movies... all of the actors were really into it.
Yeah, because the novels were so massive that when they started casting for it, I think it was probably easier for them to do that at that point.
Well, this is it, you know. But then if you take something like stay with me. Okay. If you take something like Twilight, for example. I love you
so much. You're so cute. Yes, it's true. You can feel the difference.
You feel the difference because you can tell that a lot of the actors, they maybe got cast for it before they realized
100%
what this was.
Yeah.
And they didn't have a great time with it. They didn't commit to the roles. But Michael Sheen, who played Aro, he fucking nailed it.
Queen.
Because he just had so much fun with it.
Sure
and you could tell he actually wanted to be in those movies because his daughter was obsessed with Twilight.
It's true. Yeah, that's it. That's part of the reason that he was offered the role, and he was like, "Oh fuck yeah, okay, I'm gonna do that."
He was the best in those movies because he was so like having a good time with it, you know.
Yeah.
And like Jamie Campbell Bower was like trying too hard to be like serious.
It's so funny to watch, though. I've said this before. I love Jamie Campbell Bower.
Yes, we do.
I love Jamie Campbell Bower so much. Great actor, great singer. Damn.
Oh yeah. Great hands.
Great hands. There's a new adaptation of there's a new like sort of sequel requel thing to Witchboard, which was like a really campy movie in the 80s coming, which I think is actually getting a theatrical release soon. Jamie Campbell Bower is in it. I saw it at Fantasia Film Festival last year.
Yeah.
It's an early 2000s horror movie, but for right now it's so fun and silly.
We have to watch
and
it.
It doesn't take itself seriously, and I loved it so much, and I want to watch it again when it comes out.
We will watch it.
And Jamie Campbell Bower's in it. And he's great the entire time. He's like almost like a creepy cult leader. He's so fun.
See?
He's so fun. He's got a great voice when he just talks.
Yeah.
You're like,
oh, he does.
I know. He's doing the spicy audio shit on Quinn or whatever that app is now too. Believe me, my For You page is all over that at this point. So like, I know, I get it. I would also listen to him speak all day.
Yes. Actually, yes. Yeah. Anyway, that is my thought about fantasy.
Yeah, I have to agree. And also to the point that you just made too, but all these ones, whether you're talking about films or TV series, all of these things only work because they have multiple entries, either seasons or entries into the series of films itself. It's very rare that you can do a one and done.
Oh, for fantasy? Oh, it's so hard because of the exposition,
Correct.
the world building, and like, not everybody will have read the book or like figured out part of the plot or whatever. Like if you go in blind to something, like they got to do a good job of the exposition because they also can't really do much of a dump. No, it's fantasy.
True. Yeah, it
doesn't work.
It's very difficult to do because you'd spend 3 entire episodes on just that, and everyone would stop watching it.
Although Princess Bride was a one and done.
Yeah, I know. See, it does happen on occasion. Princess Bride is one and done. Stardust is one and done. Like, there are some. Like, you know, and they
but again, these are like small.
They are. They're not long stories either, which probably helps a lot.
Stardust was a great one. Fuck you, Neil Gaiman.
Oh my god. Yeah. Okay. We don't talk about him on this podcast.
We don't talk about Bruce.
Okay. Okay. Ooh, this is a good one. YA.
Ooh, YA.
Yeah. I get it. I know that YA isn't always its own genre. Like, you can have YA mysteries, you can have romance.
That's exactly where my mind went. I was like, but which genre?
It's whatever you feel. Or do you feel that within that there are some that are more successful than others?
Well, here, let's put it this way, okay, to simplify our lives. When we say YA, typically, regardless of the genre, there is an aspect of searching for identity, coming of age, like blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
So if we just focus on that aspect of it for the adaptations, I would say again, it goes back to the character and like the person who's acting out this character. You have to feel attached to like a YA character because you want to root for them, you want them to come of age, you want them to succeed in the challenge that they're seeing. So here I'll use Hunger Games, that's a YA one.
Sure.
You know, you're rooting for Katniss, you want her to overcome all the challenges and like come out successful. Okay, now I'm thinking of like Maze Runner and like...
Well, I mean, now you're just on a dystopian.
Now I'm on a dystopian kick. I went that way now.
Yeah. But like, you know, we've also seen that in some cases, too, some things can be too far drawn out. We talked about A Good Girl's Guide to Murder last year,
that
right?
Did get,
And what was that? I think it was about eight episodes?
It was,
Yeah, too long.
It was
too long.
I think it was 10 episodes, actually.
Was it 10?
Yeah,
God,
it was
that's
way too long.
That didn't need more than like 6. You could have you could have been fine. 5 or 6 episodes and you could have been one and done with that.
Yeah.
You know, so like in some cases, like when there's more to it or more stakes to an extent, like Hunger Games has huge stakes for the characters, right? So with that one, you're more likely to lean towards being like, wow, I'm really invested in this, and like this works really well. But then A Good Girl's Guide to Murder is a much smaller, contained mystery, and so having it be super long and drawn out doesn't add anything to the story.
No. All you're doing is kind of drawing out the relationships between characters.
Which don't always need to be
drawn out. They don't always need to be drawn out. Like, you have to have actors who are, like, who have good chemistry for that.
Oh, yeah.
Also, if you think of some, like, 13 Reasons Why...
that did not need multiple seasons, guys.
Well, because they then started having to invent storylines and stuff, I think.
Well, and we see that with everything that goes off the rails, right? As soon as they have to start inventing storylines, as soon as they had to start inventing storylines on Game of Thrones, we all saw what happened. So
yeah, well, George R.R. Martin ain't finishing.
He'll be dead before the next one comes out.
I think he's actually said he's not going to finish it.
He's not, eh?
I think he officially. I might be making this up, but I'm pretty sure he's not going to finish it.
I don't think so. At this point, I wouldn't be surprised. I'm sorry, guys. He's going to keel over before anybody gets another entry into the series.
It's just too bad because I think he was almost finished The Winds of Winter.
I don't understand why. Then
I mean, he's old. He's rich.
Yeah, he can't be. He's made his money. He
cannot be bothered.
Maybe,
you know,
it's possible. I don't know. We could speculate for ages, but
well, that's it anyway. But if I go back to like something like 13 Reasons Why, like again, like that one's a tricky one. Difficult subject matter.
Very.
And the main character essentially is already dead, so she's not going to succeed in anything.
There's that one's really hard because who are you rooting for?
Well, that's it. Yeah. You know, you're kind of rooting for all the other characters to sort their lives out and to not be giant shitheads.
Yeah, you're rooting for the other one to get arrested for sexual assault, like, you know, all that kind of aspect of things. But you also, you know, where we've ended up when the show begins.
Yeah, exactly.
So yeah, it's really hard to do that. And then, last one, because if not, we could talk about every single genre forever because everything's been adapted at some point. I know. Science fiction.
Ooh, yeah, I was wondering if you were going to ask that. So, caveat, I'm not a big sci-fi
Neither of us
lover.
are. The podcast knows. Anybody who's listened semi-regularly is aware that we're not big sci-fi people.
Yeah. And by the way, shout out to y'all because apparently we're getting something like 20,000 listens a week.
A week at this point.
A week now? So, like... Shout out. Thank you for listening.
You guys are wonderful. And now you're making me feel like I have to try harder. So that's probably a good thing.
Probably a good thing. But back to sci-fi. I think very similar to fantasy because depending.
Yeah.
If it's on another planet.
Oh, yeah.
Or if it's post-apocalyptic on another planet.
Or if we're just talking in like a Black Mirror way, does it exist on Earth, but is it like a technology-based sort of thing?
Right.
Yeah.
That's going to demand a bigger budget.
Correct.
Conviction from the actors who believe in the storyline.
Mm-hmm.
But I do think that overall, and I may be wrong here, I think overall they are better at adapting sci-fi than they are fantasy.
I agree.
Yeah.
Because really, if I look at even more recent years, and again, also because of the amount, of world building, war technology that needs to be introduced and stuff, series tend to work better than films, largely. Not all the time.
No.
But much of the time. But we're seeing a lot of successful ones more recently. Like off the top of my head, I'm thinking of Silo, obviously, which is super popular, and Murderbot, which just came out this year, which again is like, obviously a lot more like tongue-in-cheek because there's like a pretty darkly comedic element to that story, but also like a very successful like story adaptation, like the whole, I finished the first season, it's really fun.
Yeah.
So
right.
Yeah, and I feel like we're seeing that kind of more and more now. I know the Foundation TV series is very popular. Arthur's watched I think like the first 2 seasons. I know there's a third one out now. He fucking loves it.
Okay.
I would only watch it because Lee Pace is in it. And I love Lee Pace.
I love Lee Pace.
What a beautiful, wonderful man. Put him in more shit, guys. Why don't we see him in everything now?
Him and Richard Armitage.
You love it. Also, ironically, both in The Hobbit, so...
I know, I love it.
You're like, that's why I love it so much.
That's why I like the Hobbit movies so much. But yeah, and I'm wondering if as we're talking about this, something just occurred to me. So in in fantasy, so again, I go back to the Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
We've got you know, we've got elves, we've got dwarves,
Yes.
we've got all different,
Orcs, all the stuff.
Orcs, you've got different supernatural creatures.
True.
You know, you've got the same with like vampires, werewolves, you know, whatever. But when we talk about sci-fi, an alien can be whatever
Anything.
you think it's going to look like.
Whatever
right?
the author has decided the alien is going to look like.
And I don't know how often we see an adaptation where the main character is not human.
It's true in the adaptation side of things. Like, it does happen, but I know what you mean. They tend to ground things more by your lead is human, and they are dealing with otherworldly entities.
And they're often like enemies.
Correct. Yeah.
And it's not like a coalition of forces.
True.
Of like different creatures, you know?
Not normally anyway.
Not
no,
normally.
It's rare. Like, that's it. Like, you know, and I feel like now if we're getting more into it, I mean, like, that's it. Murderbot's a good example of that.
Yeah.
No, your lead's not human, but he's humanoid.
And he's played by like
a person
actor.
who looks like a person as well. He looks human. He doesn't.
Right.
He looks like a Ken doll, but like he looks human.
Right.
You know, at face value. So that part kind of helps, and also. Again, the tone in sci-fi can be whatever you want it to be, which is really smart, and so that lends itself well. So like Murderbot is very sarcastic in its tone, which also feels human and feels grounded.
Yes.
Because a lot of us have similar feelings about wanting to be left alone just to watch a shitty TV show all the time. You know?
I feel that way
Some
too.
of us just feel that way about human interactions sometimes.
I get it.
Yeah. So yeah, but no, I agree with you. It's weird because again, like neither of us are big sci-fi fans, but I find that overall the adaptations are better.
They are. They're actually pretty good.
I know.
Again, maybe I'm wrong.
Arrival
maybe
is another one. Arrival's a good
Arrival's
adaptation.
a great one.
It's a great film. Dune are exceedingly popular. Those ones are doing insanely well and appear to be like quite solid and good adaptations. I've never read the source material, so I can't tell you. But, you know, like appear to be like very good adaptations. We're going to see even next year with Project Hail Mary.
Yep.
We're getting another one from Andy Weir with Ryan Gosling. That one will it'll probably be pretty good. They did a good job with The Martian, so I can only imagine that they're going to try hard with this one as well.
The Martian was a good one.
The Martian was a good one as well.
I think Ender's Game wasn't bad, the adaptation.
I haven't seen it.
It's fine.
Yeah,
like,
okay.
I don't like Orson Scott Card.
Yeah.
He's a huge bigot shithead.
Yeah.
So I don't like condone or
classic
promote
authors
any of his stuff.
Classic authors are rough that way.
Yeah.
Across multiple genres, because I can really love certain things about like their writing and universes that they created and different things, but then, you know, unfortunately finding out a lot about people's views, particularly from earlier time periods, is rough sometimes, and it kind of ruins things.
Right. Looking at you, J.K. Rowling.
I mean, yeah, like, you know, I mean, unfortunately we're seeing it a lot now too, which is really disappointing, but like, you know, when you go back, like I can say how much I really I find like a lot of the writings from H.P. Lovecraft are fantastic, but he was notoriously insanely fucking racist.
Oh,
so,
really?
Oh god, yeah, he was an asshole. So
See, there you go.
and there you can see it in some of the writings as well.
The characters,
100%. Yeah. A couple of them are really bad. So
anyway, so we digress, but. Yes, I think sci-fi adaptations are overall much better than fantasy.
Agreed. Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah, like I said, we could go back for every single genre, like lit fic. Obviously, there have been a ton of those. There's been a ton of nonfiction adaptations about real life events, whatever. There have been a ton of them. Period pieces, historical fiction, romance adaptations.
Romance. It all depends on the chemistry.
Romance is
between the actors.
just chemistry based.
That's
I agree.
all it is.
Only chemistry based.
That's why The Notebook worked out so well.
Yeah.
And The Longest. Oh no! What was the one with Zac Efron?
The Lucky Ones.
That's it. That was so bad.
Yeah, when your leads seem like they have never spoken to each other, it makes things
brother
really
and sister
hard.
energy.
Gross. No.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyway, so that wraps up adaptation month here for the podcast. So we'll be coming at you next week with a new theme for the month of August. Obviously, in the meantime, as usual, feel free to check out hopefully all of the reviews that we're going to be putting out soon for all these ARCs, along with everything else that we have published over at fullybooked.ca, and follow us on all of our social media, Instagram, TikTok, Threads, Blue Sky. Search for Fully Booked CA and you will find us. But until next week, guys, keep on reading.
Thanks, everyone.